Okay, hello, hello. Good good morning, students. Good afternoon, good evening. Okay? So today I am going to discuss the answers no for our week 4 to 5 since we don't have any enough time to discuss it. So I will record the discussion on the answers. Okay? So now let's start. Ayan. Number one, value-added tax, it is an indirect tax. Okay. Next is, which is not a major business internal revenue tax. Business income tax is not a business revenue tax. Okay. Number three, who is liable for the payment of VAT? It is the seller. Okay. Next, non-VAT registered taxpayer. So, non-VAT man siya and then not greater than 3M. So, OPT lang siya, 3%. Okay, next, which of these is not a characteristic of VAT? Letter C. So, hindi yan characteristic. The rest, they are characteristic. 6, which is not vatable as separate entity? So, the branch. Okay, kasi ang spouse, pwede lang. Okay? Subsidiary company, separate yun na siya. Yan, parent. Pero si branch, kung different ang taxpayer, pwede ma-separate. Pero kung hindi, the same taxpayer, hindi talaga. Okay. Next, for radio and television, irrevocable yan. Okay, kung they are already VAT registered. 8, which statement is correct? Letter A. They are considered as separate taxpayer for business purposes. Okay? Lock-in period natin, 3 years. And then, number 10, what is the tax payable by non-VAT taxpayer? So, ang non-VAT siya, pero nag-issue siya of VAT. May output VAT siya. Plus, yung 12% nga VAT, so madagdagan, no? Plus na apply percentage tax and may 50% surcharge. Okay, next, activity number 2. So, kung non-VAT registered and annual sales ito, so non-VAT yun na siya. Pero, pwede din siya mag-register as VAT. No? Pero, depende na sa iyang choice. Optional na yan. This one, VAT registered. Of course, VAT yan siya kasi VAT registered. Next, department store VAT registered. VAT registered man siya kahit hindi siya umabot ng 3M. Lodging house, okay, not VAT registered. Hindi umabot ng 3M, so non-VAT yun na siya. Okay, hindi umabot sa threshold. Rice retailer, VAT registered, of course, VAT. Lumabot din siya ng 3M. Fertilizer distributor, non-VAT. This is exempt transaction. Not VAT unique. Kahit umabot ng 3.5. Exempt yan kasi distributor. Okay? Next, coffee shop, VAT registered. Of course, VAT. Saloon and spa, hindi umabot ng 3M, so non-VAT. Supermarket, VAT registered. Okay, VAT, yun siya. Bookstore, VAT registered. Okay. Now, let's go to activity situation. So, ito, one of the statement is correct. So, identify the correct statement. So, ang correct statement dito is letter D. Okay, why? For purpose of the threshold, the aggregation rule for each taxpayer shall apply. Thus, the gross receipt from the medium-sized store shall be added to the receipts from the practice of the profession. So, we have wifey, 1 million. Si husband, si hubby, na siya ay profession. So, 650, naapod siya yung mga medium-sized store. So, if you will add it all, di naman, umabot ba ng 3M? So, umabot ng 3 million. Okay? So, i-add natin siya. No? Kini, si husband and wife, hindi siya dapat i-combine. Okay? So, ang correct lang is letter D. So, kung umabot na siya sa aggregate ng 3 million, si hubby, kuha na siya. 3 million kapin. No? So, i-calculate daw natin din. So, we have 650 plus 1,500,000 plus 900. So, umabot talaga. So, mag-VAT registered na si husband. Si wifey, pwede na dili. Okay? So, what is your advice? Wifey does not need to register as VAT because hindi umabot sa threshold, but pwede din siya mag-register. Optional lang, no? Pero si hubby, register na din siya as VAT kasi exceeding na siya. Okay, next. Situation number 2. May mga sales tayo, no? VAT-able transaction, zero rated, and VAT exempt. So, of course, ang ating VAT exempt, hindi yan siya maka-claim ng input tax. So, if you will add, no, sa mga kanyang transactions, ang VAT-able transaction o zero rated, lumampas, no? 2.5 plus 1 and lumampas na ng threshold. So, lumampas na siya. Of course, kini, hindi mo na yan isali kasi VAT exempt yan. Okay, wala mo na siya business tax. So, lumampas na siya ng threshold. So, dapat mag-register na siya as VAT. Next, situation number 3. Okay, na ay nag-approach, may sale of fresh fruits. Diba? Fresh fruits and fish, they are exempt from VAT. So, they are not required to register as VAT. Next, situation number 4. A VAT registered person issues a VAT invoice or VAT official receipt for VAT exempt. VAT exempt transaction, ha? And tapos nag-issue siya. Okay? Hindi nalagay ang VAT exempt. So, what will happen? Liable siya sa VAT. The seller will have to pay the 12% kasi hindi niya i-separate. Okay, next. Situation number 5. So, VAT subject transaction ito, pero wala nag-exceed ng threshold, pero hindi siya nag-register ng VAT system. Ito ang kanyang quarterly gross sales. So, first, second, third, umabot, no, ng threshold. Okay? So, correct tax implication. Yeah. A taxpayer is engaged VAT subject transaction but his annual gross sales do not exceed the VAT threshold. Hence, he did not register. However, the current year, ganito na, lumampas na siya, no? Pero last year, hindi. Pero current year, nag-exceed. So, the taxpayer shall be subject to percentage tax at the start of the current year because his annual gross sales did not exceed the VAT threshold. No? So, magbayad siya ng percentage tax until to the third quarter. Okay? Pero in the fourth quarter, required na yun siya kasi nag-exceed na siya ng 3 million. So, mag-pay siya ng VAT on the fourth quarter. Kasi, no? Dapat magbayad na siya ng VAT on the fourth quarter. Okay? So, yan. Next, let's go to ULO letter B. So, ULO letter B, more on ano tayo, no? Mga VAT exempt and zero rated at saka sales to the government. So, again, ito yung ating summary. Okay? So, si VAT exempt, walang input tax. And of course, si sales to the government, may standard input tax. Kaya zero ang ating VAT payable. So, let's go to the uh, mga problems. Okay, problems. Ayan. Okay, sale of drugs and medicine run by the hospital to outpatient kasi hindi na yan nasali sa hospital bills. Kaya subject to VAT. Ang sale of drugs to inpatient, nasali kasi sa hospital bills, mo to mga VAT exempt. No? Number 2, okay, not subject to VAT kasi mga medical procedures, laboratory, hospital bills. Next, VAT exempt transaction, of course, through 4. The person making the exempt sale of goods shall not bill any output tax, of course, kasi exempt yun siya. Kung masali siya, mabuta mag-bill gani siya nga VAT, naa siya surcharge, no? Dapat hindi siya i-bill as output tax. Next, okay, true. Number 6, exempt ang mga agricultural contract growers and millings. 7, medical, dental hospitals, including laboratory services, except those rendered, are exempt from that. True. Next, 8. Yeah, no? Basta sale of drugs and medicine, subject to that. 9. The government or any political subdivision, okay, making payment, mag-withhold ng final tax na 5%. Yes. Okay? The 5% final tax shall represent the net VAT payable. Kaya pagdating sa government, wala tayong VAT payable, zero yan. Okay, next. To be exempt from VAT, the list of residential units shall have, of course, monthly rental less than 15,000. Okay. Exempt from VAT na yan siya. Kung less than 50,000, regardless of the aggregate. Okay? Kahit malampas na ng 3 million plus. Okay, next. Number 2. Japanese residing in the Philippines. Okay? Ang export sale natin is 100,000. Okay? Export yan. So, zero rated. 0% applies. Okay? Iba yung import. Import, mayroon tayong VAT on importation. No? So, export man yan. So, zero rated. Number 3, VAT registered sold goods amounting to 500,000. VAT registered siya, ha? Okay. Which of the following is incorrect? Government controlled. Basta government controlled corporation, may withholding na 5%. So, which of the following is incorrect? Incorrect, ha? We are looking for incorrect. The sale is subject to final tax, yes. Will be withhold 500 times 5%. So, that's 25,000 final VAT. So, magbabayad within 10 days. Tama naman. Okay. Letter D ang mali. Okay. Number 4. Parking lots, no, is subject for value-added tax. Okay. Next, 5. 0% VAT. Okay, ito. No? Ito. Next, number 6. Which of the following sales of real properties shall not be exempted from VAT? Shall not be exempted from VAT. So, sale of real properties not primarily for sale to customer or held for lease in the ordinary course of business. Ito, may exempt, no? Utilize low cost, utilized for commercial purposes, 1,500,000 and below, and kang house on lot 2,500,000. Shall not be exempt. Shall not be exempt. Not primarily for sale or held for lease in the ordinary course of business. Hindi ba? No? How about this one? Not primarily for sale to customer, held for lease, may cap gain man gud ni. So, between A and C, commercial purposes, tanawa na ninyo class, ha? Real properties, kini cap gain man ni, shall not be exempt. Which of the following shall not, kini exempt ang low cost, exempt ni ito. Kini kay, kini ang answer ba? Real properties utilized for commercial purposes. So, natin itong i-highlight, no? Tingnan natin. 7. The term poultry for VAT does not include, of course, fighting tax kasi hindi siya consumption. Ito, pwede man yan kakainin. Marine food products which includes fish and are exempt from VAT, which is not. Aquarium fish kasi pets, no? Next, 9. If monthly rental is 15,000 or above, but total annualized rent does not exceed 3M. Of course, subject to uh, 15,000. Umabot na ng 15,000. Pero hindi umabot ng 3M aggregate. So, hindi siya exempt from VAT and percentage tax. Subject to 3% VAT. Yan. Which of the following is not a deemed sale? Okay. Is not a transaction deemed sale. So, transfer use, of course, transfer use or consumption not in the ordinary course of business for, so means for personal, no? Distribution, personal din. Kini, dapat kani more than 60 days. No? More than 60 days. So, para ma-deem-sale siya. 11. Which of the following shall be subject to VAT? Okay, sale. Kasi, which of the following shall be subject? May pwede mag-kun siya mabat exempt, no? Private car by its owner. Dili po siya. Kini, sale of an apartment house. 12. Which of the following, say private car, cap gain man gud ni. Kini lagi, mo lagi ning answer. See? Okay. Number 12. Which of the following goods when sold or imported shall not be exempt from VAT? Shall not be. So, careful tayo ng mga shall not, no? Agricultural and marine food products in the original state, exempt yan shall. Livestock, exempt. Okay, process. Ito ma-process na. 13. Which of the following sale or importation of goods shall not be exempt from VAT? Okay, specialty foods. 14. To non-agricultural, okay, specialty feeds, agriculture contract growers. 16. Educational services are exempt from VAT if rendered by both. Okay? Dapat accredited by DepEd and then government educational institution, of course. The exemption from VAT of educational services does not include, the exemption from VAT does not include who are not accredited. For only. 18. Which of the following shall not be exempt from VAT? Shall not be exempt. So, employer-employee, exempt yan. Okay, multinational, exempt, no? International agreement, special law, exempt. So, ito. Letter D. Shall not be considered deemed sale. So, dapat more than 60 days. Balik-ibalik siya. Shall give rise to deemed sales. Change of ownership, dissolution, deemed sales. Yan siya. Okay? Okay, next, activity 3. Identify the classification of the following, whether battable, VAT exempt, or zero rated. So, more than 3,500,000 battable. Okay? To an export, zero rated. Naana siya dito sa ating definition sa zero rated. What are those zero rated sales? Okay? Asian Development Bank, zero rated din siya. Consignment of goods not returned within 60 days following the date, battable. Goods transferred for personal use, deemed sale. Yan, vatable. Agricultural produce, VAT exempt. Next, processed foods. And we sell to exporter, vatable. Foreign buyers, so exports, zero rated. And then, delivers the merchandise, vatable. And this one is also vatable. Let's go to this situation. The ELCO cooperative is requesting the BIR to exempt it from payment, no? Exemption from the cooperative. Based on your understanding, will the BIR grant the request? No. The BIR will not grant the request of ELCO. We are not exempt on VAT. That will be passed on to them. So, since they are VAT exempt, they are not going to record the VAT. Nagbalik na. Wala, nagbayad siya ng commodities, no, from suppliers. Although VAT exempt siya, hindi siya dapat, dili siya, of course, magbayad yapon siya, no, sa iyang mga, balik na, sa iyang mga purchases. Ay, ano man yun. Nagipasa man sa suppliers. Okay? So, VAT exempt sila, i-record nila ang VAT as purchases. No, dili sila mag-input tax kasi they are VAT exempt. So, kung purchases, add-on na silang expenses. No? Okay, dili, VAT exempt man si ELCO. Next, situation number 2. COPECA Cooperative, Agricultural Cooperative, Coffee Production. Okay, which of these transactions will be subject to VAT? So, sale of Nestle, it's bottled instant coffee. Instant coffee, bottled na. Huh? Sale of Copica of its coffee dryer to Pedro Mabanag. So, tingnan natin, be. Agriculture Cooperative, nag-process lang ng coffee to its member for sale. Coffee processing company selling bottled instant coffee. So, mga instant bottled coffee. Imported a coffee dryer from Columbus Coffee Machineries. After 3 years of active use, Copica disposed the dryer to Pedro Mabanag. So, katupong kang Pedro Mabanag ang will be subject to VAT, and then yung mga bottled instant coffee. Kasi vatable transaction na yun. Next, situation number 3. Sold 5 residential house and lots, each to different attendees. No? Different than this man. So, walang problema. Per lot natin is 2 million. Or total sales. Okay? Per lot. How will the sales be classified? These sales will be classified as what? Residential house and lot. Okay, house and lot man, 2,500,000. Kung lots lang, 1.5 ang ating threshold. So, VAT exempt yan siya. Situation number 4. Benz Corporation VAT registered for the taxpayer. So, local sales to private entities, meron tayong 1.5. Export sales, zero rated man eh. Local sales to the government, 12% output yapon. How much is the total sales subject to value added tax? Of course, lahat. How much is the total sales? Lahat yan kasi hindi naman yan VAT exempt. How much is the total output tax? Ang total output tax, kini wala na siya kasi zero rated man eh. Kini 0% man ito. Output. Kini siya 12% output. Kini pod 12% output. No? So, kini 1.5 plus 1 million. So, ating output tax. Walang question on how much is the input. Kung mag-input, wala man tayo purchases, pero may standard input ta sa government, no? Next, situation number 5. Well, the lessor, residential units, so monthly rental. Kini siya exempt, exempt, exempt. Exempt. Yan sila lahat. Will not be subject kasi hindi umabot ng 15,000. So, ayan, no? Okay, stop muna natin. Next na po recording.